Hello everyone, Abby here, Purple Cottage Crafts, and welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. This one is a design team project for Miss Tracie Fox. I will of course have all of Tracie's social information, social media information in the description box below, as well as direct links to the various kits that I used. I think I used about 4 or 5, maybe 6 different kits I pulled from, but it's mostly from the Layered Tags Field Notes kit. And so I will have all that information below. That way I'm not going to try to remember to show you, oh, this is from this kit, this is from that kit, you know, because I'll just have a direct link to each one in case you're interested in just that specific kit, as well as a link to her main shop on Etsy. So this has been a labor of love. I've been working on this for a couple months in between other projects and the holidays and things like that. So I am really happy to have this little baby done, and I've named it Field Notes, kind of, you know, a nod to Tracie. Of course, this is her digitals and this is a design team project for her. And I love this, and I just think it's really, really cute and chunky, and I just love all the colors and the textures and everything with it. This will of course be for sale. I will do a video on that, kind of give me the information. But if you're interested, before I get that video up, you can send me an email to purplecottagecrafts@gmail.com, and then we can go from there. So all right, just going to go ahead and kind of get started. So there are going to be 2 journals. This is the main one, and then there's this little tiny one here that I added. So I'll just kind of show you how it's going to come kind of bundled. This is just some unbleached cheesecloth. This will be a shepherd's, or excuse me, well, a kilt pin. I keep calling it the wrong thing. This is a kilt pin that'll come with it, and then you can use this cheesecloth however you would like in a different project or whatever you would like to do. Okay, we'll do the small one first. There we go. All right, so this one here is just a little tiny, you know, little journal you can stick in your pocketbook, your purse, or whatever, or just like maybe in next to your chair, like if you have a favorite spot on your couch or whatever you want to use it for. You can gift it to somebody else if you want. So there are some of the a little bit of the Tim Holtz crazing on there. Hopefully the light's okay. It's kind of overcast here. I apologize for that. Just lots of layers of fabrics and different images from her kits and some coffee dyed vintage fabrics, things like that. And then this is just, I just kept this plain and simple so you could do with this what you will. And just some basic papers here. This is some vintage typewriter paper. You'll see this throughout the larger journal as well. I'll be sure to mention anything that's vintage. This is some straw paper from Italian straw paper from Rachel with Roxy Creations. I'll of course link her below. I have a separate video where I showed you how to make to use mica flakes, or excuse me, mica tiles and image transfer. So I'll link that video below as well in case you haven't seen that one yet. And you'll see a few more of those samples throughout the bigger journal. So there's the small one. That's going to come with that. And now onto the main beauty. So here she is, Field Notes, just full of chunkiness. That's how I like my journals. I know this isn't made for me, but you know, it's kind of my style. I did a lot of slow stitching, shocker. That is like my jam now for life. And just did some slow stitching on here with some vintage string. There's some actual floss, like DMC floss. And this is some vintage linen here that I just kind of layered for extra texture. Just, you know, I just love all that. And this is something, I'm such a huge texture person that I am very tactile, and I personally like it when I can feel the crazing on the paper and I can feel, you know, the stitches and the fabrics and the linen, and the same thing here. And on the spine of the book, this is some coffee dyed paper, and it wraps around like this. So when you're holding this, you can still feel this and rub on it, and you're not going to do anything to it. And I just like that. So I try to incorporate that in all of my projects, whether it's the journals, cards, whatever. So there's that. And then this is just some sari silk. This is a pen nib from Timmy, and it says journal. And that's just kind of tied down there with some more floss, just on some vintage linens layers there. And I just did a couple grommets for the closure. I did not make these permanent, the sari silk, so you could take this off if you want a different type of closure, or if you want to use the sari silk in something else. All you have to do is just unloop it and you can take it out. So you have that option if you want to do that. And then, like I said, she's a chunky monk. Let me get this stuff out of the view here. All right, so here's the first page, and I'm going to zoom in just a tad so I don't have to keep holding up the book. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is a first. I'm actually going in the right direction. Usually I go I go the opposite of where I want to go. Okay, so again, this is a combination of a few different kits, but it's mostly the layered tags filled notes kit. So I have one of the tags that's just on the front here. I just collaged some vintage pattern paper to the back of the front and the front and back cover, excuse me, that are the larger tags from the kit. And then this is printed, quite a bit of this is printed on some vellum. And this is a little flip here, so you can journal right there if you would like to do so. If you hear any noise, it's garbage day. I apologize. I didn't mean to film on today, but it's just kind of how it worked out. So I apologize for any extra noise. Just a little wax seal here with the butterfly. This is going to be a separate video that I haven't quite finished yet, the editing part. So I'm not going to go into too much detail as to how I did this because that's what that video is for. But this is just another form of image transfer, but different than the mica tile one. And so here is the butterfly. I'm still going to hold it up. Anyway, onto some vintage fabric here. Just some more stitching. And oops, I'm so sorry, you guys. I forgot I had an alarm set on my phone. I'm so sorry about that. I usually try to turn all my notifications off. And then right here is just one of the really beautiful butterflies that I just, distressed like that, crinkled it up, way old school, thing from back in my scrapbooking days. When you get the paper wet and you crinkle it and all that jazz. So I thought that was kind of cute. And that's on there. And on all the pages in here, in case I forget to mention it again, you can art journal on these if you want. You can use like the Signo gel pens if you want. I'll put a link to those below in case you aren't sure what those are. And so you can journal on these if you want to with pencil, pen. I tried on some sample pieces. So you don't have to think, or I don't want you to think you can't journal on this because it's a fabric, but it's been coated with something, so it'll be just fine. And then here we have just another little tuck spot here, just some more layering of fabrics and the different kit bits, and then just some stapling there. And then I just have a sampling of some vintage papers, or actually I think these are just all coffee dyed papers in here. That's what's in there, and there's one of her little number of things there, and just put that on there. And this is some handmade paper. Right there, really, really fun and pretty. I love that. And I love staples. I always try to put it, my thing is 3. I mean, it's not just Abby's thing, but that's just what I do. I just like to put in 3 staples in most of my projects. So I like to incorporate that, and I don't cover it because I think that's just added texture. So, and then here on this Italian straw paper again, here's another little tuck spot. And I just have, these are from her gorgeous, gorgeous vintage tea cards, and I'm forgetting the proper name, but that's why I'm going to link everything below because Abby and her memory is not the greatest. Here's some vintage linens and some doily that I just slow stitched on here along the side that you can use as a page, page tab turner if you want to. And then on this side here, this is a full spread. I guess I should hold it down so you can see it in all its glory first. So this is just one of her flashcards that I flipped on the side, made it into a pocket. And then I have some different journaling cards in here. And these have some, I won't take out all of them because it'll be way too long like on every other page, but just to kind of show you up close. I just did some more stitching on here with some vintage linen, and then just some more of those tea cards, and everything is backed with vintage paper on the back. That's been coffee dyed. There's just more coffee dyed paper here. And another one of those fabric pages where you can journal on this if you want, or you can use, like I said, you can do painting on there. You can use pastels, that kind of stuff, whatever you want to do. Or you can just leave it alone, whatever you want. And then here, there's going to be a few of my rusty bits throughout here. This is one of my safety pins there on the side. And you can take that off if you don't like that, of course. You can do whatever you would like with this. And then this side is just all plain, so you can do what you want. Here's another one of the tags with some more vintage linen and just some more stitching. I like the strings. You, of course, can cut them down if you don't like that, because I know it's not everybody's thing. And then here are some more of the images that have been printed onto vellum. You can kind of see my finger underneath there. And then I just love that. Just some more linen, just with some stitching on there. And I love the wonkiness of this piece of paper. That was intentional. It wasn't a cutting mistake, I promise you. I did that on purpose. So anyway, so here's just some more paper. Here's another one of those, the handmade paper with some medium on top of it. And then another little pocket here. Or actually, is this a pocket or a tuck spot? Yeah, this one was a tuck spot. And then just some seed stitching on some vintage linen, and just more of the tags from her different collections. I thought this was really cute. This is one of the bulldog clips from the layered tags kit, and I just cut it out and stapled it on the top. Thought that'd be kind of a little faux, you know, clip that you could grab this and pull the tag out if you want to do that. So, and again, I'm not going to pull every single one out because I don't want to make this too super long, because, you know, Gabby Abby. Okay, here we have this, and then again, I will have a separate video on that. There's that little rusty pin down there. I just think it just adds a nice little visual touch and some texture, you know, because you can rub on that if you choose to do so, if you're crazy like me. And then here is the middle of this signature. Forgot to mention it's actually 3 signatures, but the middle one is just plain. I'll show you that in a moment. Here is just a little tip in, the tip up, I guess you could call it, on a rusty paper clip. You can flip this up, and then you can do some journaling underneath here if you want to do that on the tag itself or underneath. And then I just used my beloved tea bags on there because I love how that looks. This is some vintage typewriter paper. I have 2 different types of thicknesses in here. Oh, excuse me, this one is parchment paper. I apologize. That's what this one is, coffee dyed parchment paper. And you can see the metal from another rusted safety pin up here. And then just some more linen. This particular piece isn't actual vintage, but there's that, and just stitched on real easy peasy because I just can't stop stitching. So here's just more parchment, and then this is just a little notebooky stack of some different papers. This is the vintage typewriter paper. There's a couple different thicknesses in here if I remember correctly, but you can definitely tell it's got the watermark on some pieces. It just depends on where I tore it. And then another one of her images here. And yes, I know it's upside down. That was just done. I didn't do it like, you know, intentionally or anything. It's just the way it turned out. And you'll see more of that in that one video I keep referring to. And there's that, this page here. And then we have another little, one of my slow stitchy collage bits. That's what I call them. And just up here in the corner, another one of her butterflies mixed in with the staple and my beloved stitching. And then we have that. And then this page here, it actually flips out. I'll show you this backside first because I'm not going to take time to keep putting the clips and everything back in. I don't, like I said, but here's the backside of this page here. And this this rusted paper clip, comes off, and then this page opens up here. So it flops out. Now we have some more journaling space if you want to do that. And I'll put this, actually it'll take me just a second to do this one, because it's real on there, real easy. Okay, and then here we have just some collaging with another butterfly from her kit with a tea bag on top of that. And then the back side, and here's more of that fabric that's been treated. And then just some more of her images there. And then just one of her small little bits there. Just has a little accent piece on that page. Same here, another tag. And then on this side here this is a vintage linen, and it's kind of like a fabric, kind of a tuck spot, so to speak. And then I have just another rusty safety pin, and then just some more slow stitching here on those pieces. And it's just a combination of some different papers in here, straw paper and things like that. And this is actually some paper I ordered from Japan in a stationery thing, because, you know, I like stationery stuff too. And here is the this is the last page of the first signature, and just some more of the lovely tea bag as Abby's version of washi tape. I have a video on that, which I will link below as well. And I just love that. It's so cool. And then here is just another piece of that same paper. I won't take this off, but what this does is it just flips out, as you can see, and you have just some more journaling space there. And then just another smaller slow stitchy collage bit there. All right, now we're going to get to the middle or the back page of the first signature. And then this is starting the second signature in the journal. So this here is a piece of that Japanese paper that I was telling you, or I got it from a lady in Japan. If it's Japanese, I don't know. That's just where I ordered it from. This is the back side. You can journal on the back of this if you choose to. This is just a combination of some more of her digitals that I have just collaged onto the back side. You can also journal on this or doodle on this if you want to. Trace these items, whatever you want to do. Both sides are usable for your journaling needs or whatever you want. So there's that, and it's tucked in there with that larger rusty paper clip. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in frame. And just a little tab there, just a little bit of some coffee dyed sari silk. This has a little accent piece there in the corner, a little textural element. And then I used a smaller bit of that fabric with her images as another side pocket. And then just did some more slow stitching onto those tags. for more journaling, and another little fabric vintage linen there. And all the page tabs, well, except for the Starry Silk, it's all like from older linens and things that I've thrifted. And here's another little side pocket tuck, and I like that that's curled up. I kind of did that, so if you don't like it, you can press it down, but I think it looks kind of cool. And then I just adhered one of her butterflies onto this brown paper strip, and then there's just some little strips. I call these my inspiration strips. Gosh, I did that. Oh my goodness, I was still living in Florida, so probably like 2016, 17, I think, in one of my own journals. If I can find that video, I'll link it below in case you're interested. And this is another type of the vintage typewriter paper. So this one's a little bit different than the one I showed you earlier, but it is authentically vintage. I dug into my stash. I got my hoard stash. Just did some more stapling of some fabric here for another little page tab. This is printed onto that vintage typewriter paper. This one was kind of thin, and I just kind of, you know, collage them down onto each corner. Again, you can journal over top, you can put a photo, whatever you want. We all know what to do with our journals. And then just a bit of fabric here as another little page tab. Here is a piece of coffee dyed paper strip, and I just took some linen on top of that, and then I just, adhered down some more of the little images from the different various kits, and it made it into a tuck spot here on the side. These are authentic vintage bingo card and library card catalog. Again, I dug into my stash. There's that same vintage typewriter paper. I love it. It's just so smooth and nice to touch. Here is a top tuck spot here with another little butterfly, and this is a vintage, I forget what these are called. Let me look at it real quick. I got these a long time ago. Some type of a, I don't know if it's like a grading or something from a library. I can't remember exactly, but I've had these for a long time. I have a pretty good stack of these. They're fun to use. And then that straw paper again from Miss Rachel. And let's see here, another fabric tag. This is from Timmy. I will link these below if I can remember. So you can get some of those if you'd like. I love these things. Those are fun to use. This is a little metal element as a page tab there. And then just more Starry Silk. So as you can tell from the middle signature, this is mostly just, it's not as embellished as the other pages because I wanted to kind of have more journaling, actual writing journaling space. But you can of course decorate them as much as you want if you choose to do so. And then going on to the third signature here. And just on this front tag, I just have some more of the papers. This is that same paper I was telling you about. It's really fun paper. It's kind of transparent. You can kind of see, it's probably hard to tell. Let me show you real quick in case I don't remember. I'll try to find where I bought this, but it was in a stationery box I bought this like a couple of years ago. But that's, if you want to freeze it, you can write down the brand, I guess, and search for it. But it's just really fun, thin paper that you use, because I'm a huge journaling and kind of traveler's notebook nerd, so I like a lot of stationery stuff too. So, and there's that. And on the back side of this, another little tuck spot, and I just did some basic stitching on the leaves there, and just tucked in a couple more tags. Then I used some of the labels, cut those out to make them little, you know, you don't have to use those to pull them out, but I thought it was kind of fun, you know, to do that if you chose to do so. This here is just another one of the her images, her cards here, and I just did some slow stitching on here as a tab, and you just open this up and it's just a, you know, real basic, super simple journaling spot there. There's that for both sides, and just kind of tuck that back in like this. And then here we have just another strip of collaging here, just down the side. This is some decorative washi tape that I have right there. For my stationery stash. Now this is the same kind of, this is the same kind of, little bits of thread everywhere. This is the same kind of, it's a different vintage linen, but it's the same treatment as the other fabric pages that I showed you earlier, just to note the difference there. Just some more stitching onto some vintage bit of doily. And then on this page we have a larger piece of linen, vintage linen, and I did just some, you know, basics, cross X stitching and some more, a little bit larger seed stitching, and just a tea bag. And this is just for the textural visual look for me personally. And then a little fabric flip here. And again, you can journal on this if you choose to, whatever you want. You can even continue stitching onto the fabric if you want, or even the paper. This here is Japanese calligraphy paper. I got this from Amazon. I'll try to remember to link this below as well. And this has been coffee dyed, that's why it looks like that, but it's just delightful to use. And then here's just a little bit of the wax melt, and then I just pushed in this rusted, it's like those silver brads. I just took, this the top part, and then just put some sari silk underneath it. Just kind of a cool little textural look, I thought. And I love on the back that you can see the green through there, the wax. And then here we have another tag with some more of that fabric on there. Lots of journaling space. This is the top part of that vintage bingo card I showed you a little bit back there. And the back side is backed with some paper, so you can journal on there a little bit easier. You can see a little bit easier. And let's see here. This is another one of the tags. And I just did some more collaging with the, this is the parchment paper, coffee dyed parchment paper. Here's another one of the letter things from Timmy. And just did some more collaging and my collage slow stitch bits there. That same Japanese paper. Here's another strip of that thinner typewriter paper, and this one does have the actual, you can actually see it. You can, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it or not. Maybe kind of right there. You see right there, it says Gilbert or something right there. That's the watermark on that vintage typewriter paper. And then you can journal on top of this parchment that's been coffee dyed. I've done it before. It works. I know it does because I've done it. And there's another one of her tags printed or labels printed onto some vellum that I just crinkled up to make it look like it's, old or whatever. And then the grommets that you're seeing on the back side here, this is one of my most favorite samples of the mica tile image transfers that I did in that video. This is a little pocket. I won't go into a lot of detail because there's a separate video for that, but just to show you. And that's the mica tile right there, and then I just put some grommets through it, and then that's the image transfer. And then I just made some quick little tags here with some stitching, so you can pull these out and add to them if you want to. I love the sound of this parchment paper when you journal on it and when you just touch it. Here we go to the back side of the signature. There's some more of that same tag with the parchment on there. This one here, what I did in the kind of like the topper, I guess, I just ran some embroidery floss through the grommet like that, and then thought that was kind of a fun little cool look. This is some really fun paper. This is actually, it looks old, but this is actually that paper on the roll you can get from like Home Depot and Lowe's that they put for like contractors and stuff. I love it. I can't find my big roll. That was the last scrap I had readily available, but I love that paper. It's fun. And here is another vintage linen, some more of the coffee dyed Chinese calligraphy paper. Here is another sample of the mica tile image transfer that I did in that same video, and just made a little tag out of it here. So you can put that wherever you would like. Oops, that doesn't come with it. That was just to hold the picture, or hold it down for the pictures I took, sorry. And here is the back side of that vintage linen with that same treatment on here. And then here is a little flip up here, so you can do some journaling, put a photo, and then I just used a coffee filter here, and then just wrinkled up that same vellum again from that one particular label kit that I used. And we're to the back, you guys. So here is another vintage library card catalog, and just another, just in a little, vintage doily kind of bit there. And then on the back page, this is a chunk of a vintage linen, and I just stitched it, together to make a little pocket. And then I just have a pretty good handful of the different tags that have different, it's backed by different types of coffee dyed papers and stuff. So I didn't do a bunch of stitching or make tabs or holes or anything on these. I just wanted to leave these plain in case you prefer this look, or you want to use these in something else or whatever. So I just left those kind of plain, which is hard for me to do because I like to embellish everything, but you know how it goes. And then here is the back up here. And again, you can journal on this too. It'll be a little bit bumpier, of course, won't be smooth writing because it's pretty textured, but you definitely can just do some doodling or something if you want to do that. And then here is the back of Field Notes, Little Miss Field Notes. That's what her name will be. And hopefully you can see the crazy. I'm trying to look through my viewfinder. Yeah, you can see that crazy that's all over here. I did that on the back side and the front side of the tag, and then again just the spine here to show you how that looks. So this is a very sturdy journal, that's not going to come off unless you take pliers and try to pry it off or something. And this isn't sharp. Timmy has those rounded, but you want to just be especially if you're giving this to maybe a young, not like a toddler or anything, but I don't know if you want to give this somebody small, I don't know. I just want to put that out there, you know, that this is from Timmy and it's not sharp, so it must be safe for him to sell it to people. But you know, just be mindful of that. That is a little bit of a tip there, but it is rounded, as you can see. All right, so here she is, Little Miss Field Notes, and I will again have all of the different kits that I used linked in the description box below, as well as some of the supplies that I mentioned. When I go back to edit the video, I'll remember, because I listened to it all the way through to make sure I get all the links and things correct that I mentioned in the video. And again, this will be up for sale. So if you were interested before you see that Etsy shop update video for me, you can go ahead and send me an email, like I said, to purplecottagecrafts@gmail.com. We can go from there, and it'll be a first come first serve, of course. Hopefully people would be interested, but I just wanted to say that just in case, you never know. And that's it. So if you have not checked out Miss Tracie Fox, I encourage you to do so. She has just the most gorgeous, amazing digital kits. I was a customer long before I became a design team member, and Tracie and I have been friends, online friends, for, oh my goodness, 4 years this year, I think. And she's just a delightful person with a lovely, lovely British accent. So she's just fun to listen to in her videos and everything else. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about anything I did, please leave in the comment section below, and I will be happy to answer those questions for you. Other than that, be sure to check the description box, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye!